is up, all my dorks, nerds, geeks, and gamers? It's your host, Ghost here, and today we're going to be you're watching a brand new episode of Dorks Den Movie Minute, and today we're going to be talking about Hawkeye Episodes 3 and 4. Episode 3, entitled Echoes, which is entitled that way because of the main villain of this series is now Echo, who this episode starts off with a flashback of her. We get to see her as a deaf child, and she has one leg, so she does have a disadvantage of normal heroes. They would normally have advantages. So we get to see her growing up in this kind of underground world with the jumpsuit mafia. They're kind of teaching her how to fight and all these things. Her father figure is, at least. We get a little tease of the Kingpin being the main big bad behind this. You get to see the jacket. You get to see a hand come out and touch Echo's face. And you get that you get that very Kingpin laugh behind it. So I'm telling you, 100%, I guarantee you Kingpin is the one behind all this. At least I think so. I'm going to say 99.9% sure it's Kingpin. But yeah, but this episode starts off, like I said, you get the flashback there, we get the Kingpin tease. Echo's father ends up dying towards the end of the flashback scene due to the Ronin coming in and just wiping out all these people in the area. But I have theories about that. I don't think that was Clint Barton as the Ronin. I believe that Yelena Belova has been running around as the Ronin. It hasn't been said in the series at all yet. There hasn't even been a tease of it, but that's just my thoughts. I think that Yelena got the whole of the Ronin suit after Clint Barton did to avenge Natasha, and less about Clinton just losing himself and become the Ronin. That's just my theory. I don't know how true that's going to be when the series is over or not, but I think that's the direction they're going in with that suit reveal and all that stuff. We cut back to Hawkeye and Kate, who are captured on these little rocking horses. They got their hands tied behind their backs. And the jumpsuit, men are all around them, asking them questions, telling them this and that and whatnot. Basically, nothing's getting done. They're just avoiding the questions, being smart Alex, being what Clint and Kate are, doing what they do. Echo shows up and basically chokes Kate to the point where she's about to lose it. The other jumpsuit guys pull her off. At that point, that's when Clint cuts his ropes and he gets out. There's this awesome fight in the area, this factory building they're in where they're all tied up. When Clint gets out, he ends up getting his bow. There's some awesome shots with him shooting people with the bow. And there's also this really awesome shot where he shoots the bow and arrow and it hits hits the rope on Kate's arm, so it cuts her free. And then she grabs her bow and they go nuts. They end up getting out of the building. There's this glorious, very awesome car chase. I gotta tell you, it's one take. It seems like a one-take scene. I'm sure it's a fake one-take, but it seems like a one-take. And they're riding in the car, and the camera sits in the back of the car the whole time, and it spins around the car. You get shots of behind the car, you get shots of the side of the car, and then back to Kate and Clint. And the whole time they're doing this, they're shooting trick arrows out the side of the car, in the back of the car, on top of the car. Cars are flipping, goos everywhere. It's just nuts. It's a very awesome scene, and one of the reasons why this episode is like one of my favorite of all the Marvel series TV shows we've seen so far, just because the action is so well shot cinematography wise. It's really, really well done. So yeah, after those two fight scenes and the car chase, we then get Clint and Kate. Kate suggests they go back to her house because they're rich and her parents won't be home. And Clint's like, "Are you serious?" So they do. They go back there to relax for the night, and while they relax, they rest up. The next morning they wake up. There's this really nice scene between Kate and Clint, where Clint's family calls. But in the fight scene previously, Clint's earpiece had fallen out and got smashed, so he cannot hear anything at this point. Now he's deaf. So Kate actually has to listen to the phone and write down the message on a piece of paper for him and show him as he's talking to his wife on the phone, or his kids on the phone. So it's a very nice moment for Kate to show Clint that even in small moments she will help him out if need be. So that was very nice, very cool scene. Basically that's where this ends. We have this nice little moment between Kate and Hawkeye. And then Hawkeye basically goes to walk down the hallway, and then Kate's stepdad has the sword, the Ronin sword, to his throat, and that's where episode 3 ends. I gotta tell you, if this did not have those awesome action scenes, this would be a much more boring episode. But with that car scene alone and that action scene in the warehouse, I give this a 9 out of 10. Just the car scene alone is so well shot that I almost gave it a 10 out of 10 just for that car scene. because it's so good. The way the camera loops around and back and forth, and you see all the action simultaneously as it's happening in a moving vehicle. I've never seen it done before, and it's really well done. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for Echoes. Moving on to episode 4, Partners, Am I Right? Which is a weird name, but it works really well for what they're trying to do. We get Clint saved by Kate's mom, who shows up and basically recognizes him as an Avenger. They have a conversation at the dinner table where Kate's like, hey, we're partners, right? This is my partner Hawkeye, we're partners, blah, blah, blah. And basically, Kate's mom pulls Hawkeye to the side and says, hey, you cannot take her with you. This is way too dangerous for her. She's a kid. You're an Avenger, she's a kid. So then basically Hawkeye agrees. He's like, you're right, I don't want to have her in danger. That's actually why I'm basically here. I'm trying to stop her from getting in danger. And that's it. But you know something shady with her mom, because she tells him to basically drop it, stop searching for what he's looking for and all this. And I think Hawkeye kind of knows in the back of his mind that that's what's going on there. Clint basically calls his wife, tells her it's going to be a few more days. His wife actually speaks back in another language, thus teasing she may be the MCU's Mockingbird, which would be really, really cool because she is married to Hawkeye in the comics, so it'd be really cool to see that brought into the MCU. Maybe pull her out of retirement and see her do some really cool action scenes. We'll have to see if anything comes from that. Kate shows up at the apartment, and basically with a bunch of Christmas movies and Christmas stuff, and she's like, hey, you promised your kids a movie marathon, you're not able to live up to that promise, but hey, we can have a movie marathon. So they have this Christmas movie marathon. Clint teaches her how to fling coins with his fingers like that by the flick, you know, so they practice that throughout the night, and it's very funny. Lucky the dog's there being cute and looking really funny with his single eye. But yeah, very good scene. Which leads to them eventually talking about Black Widow and about what's going on there, about what happened with Ronin and Black Widow, why did you become Ronin, and are you hurt and all this. Clint basically shuts down after that, and Kate ends up leaving him alone at that point. But basically Clint tells Kate the next morning to go get some more trick arrows from these police officers that he knows. She does that. And then Clint goes to interrogate one of the goons that got hit in the face in the last one in his car to find out where the boss is. He ends up getting a lead. This lead, they end up going to this house, him and Kate, and they actually kind of one-up each other, and it's very funny because it's kind of like mentor-mentee trying to one-up each other. They come to find out this house is actually not who they were looking for. They find a list with Scarlett Johansson's, well, Black Widow's name on it and Clint Barton's name on it. And they find out, oh crap, this is not who we're looking for. We as fans know they are in Yelena Belova's place, and she has been looking for Clint. So yeah, Yelena attacks Kate in the house, while Clint gets attacked by Echo on the roof. Echo shows up and finds them. So you have this really cool four-way battle between Yelena Belova, Echo, Clint, and Kate Bishop, all fighting each other. So yeah, you get that really cool, entertaining scene. They all fight each other, and at the very end, Yelena takes off her mask. You actually get to see her for the first time, and Kate's about to take the shot, and then she remembers what Clint said about sometimes it's not about the shots you take, sometimes it's about the shots you don't take and the people you save instead of the lives you take. So Kate does not take the shot, and then that's where the episode ends. We'll find out next week how Yelena plays into all this, and how she ties into Hawkeye and Clint's adventure on a grander scale. So we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I give this one an 8 out of 10 for Partners, Am I Right? 8 out of 10 for Echoes, 2 solid 8s for episodes 3 and 4. I definitely am still enjoying them. I cannot wait to see where episodes 5 and 6 go, or where the future takes the series in general at all. And I hope that Kate is very much a mainstay member of the Avengers. I love her character. I love the way she interacts with some of the other MCU characters as a whole. So definitely looking forward to that. Let me know down below what you guys think. Make sure you like, subscribe, or share. And as always, guys, keep it right here on Dorks Den. I've been your host, Ghost. Adios.